So at some point, it's going to be inevitable that you're going to run into somebody who's going to be that food pusher. You're at a party, you're at some celebrations, and maybe there's cake around, maybe it's cookies, whatever it may be. And you know what? You're good. You don't need it right now. You don't want it. No big deal. Well, here's the person. Eat this cake. What? You don't want some? What's wrong with you? Don't you like cake? One little piece of cake isn't going to hurt you. Why don't you just have it? What's wrong? Just do it. And they're just going to push and push. Like, I don't know what it is. There's a few different reasons. We'll touch on it a little bit in this video. But the point is, you're going to run across this, and this can be a big struggle for a lot of people. They have a hard time saying no. They feel bad. They don't want to let their family down or disappoint, whatever it may be, and they give in and then end up kind of regretting it, and it can be a big thing. Now, you hopefully know me by now and know that I'm not about good versus bad foods. I don't think food should ever be off limits. You should never feel guilty about it, but sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And to me, that's the beautiful thing about flexible dieting. It's your choice. You can have it, you can not have it. Either answer is fine, but because it's your choice, now you can be okay with it versus feeling like I can't have this. Then you just want it even more. Then you feel like you did something wrong when you do have it. And that's just not a path you want to go down. Now, everyone's different though. Like for instance, sometimes it's a huge win for someone to say yes to a piece of cake because they've gone their whole life always saying no, always feeling bad about it, never letting themselves have anything fun, always feeling like they're missing out and just not enjoying it. So for that person, it's a big win. For other people, they can never say no to the cake or the cookies or the burgers or the pizza or the whatever it may be. It's always yes, and they just have no self-control at all. And if that's you, then sometimes it's a big win to be able to say no. It always requires context. But anyways, when it comes to the food pusher, understand it's usually one of a couple things. One is they just can't understand, right? Like it's not their goals. It's your goals, not their goals. So they aren't you. Oftentimes it can be a reflection on themselves and their own struggles. They always give in and feel bad about it, and they want you to join in. Misery loves company, right? So you having that control shines a spotlight on them, and they feel bad about it, so they want to get you down on their level. But it might not even be that. They might actually literally be concerned for you. Like they might actually in their mind feel like something might be wrong, like you might have some sort of a bad relationship with food or whatever it may be, and they're concerned, or maybe it's through their own experiences and what they've gone through in the past. But the bottom line is they probably just don't understand. And while it may seem like, especially when it's coming from loved ones that you think should support you the most, it may seem like they're not supporting you when they're doing things like this, when they're pushing the food, when they're bringing it home, when you're trying to go through a cutting phase, whatever it may be. But it's just not always the case. And I have a story about one of my clients that I want to share that utilized this strategy I'm going to share after this story. And in this instance, her calories were pretty low and her husband just kept bringing home donuts. And she was just like, why is he not supporting me? Why is he trying to sabotage my efforts? I'm trying to accomplish this here and he's making it really difficult. I'm really frustrated with him. I don't understand why he doesn't support me. And it was just making the process not only more difficult, but just mentally frustrating as well. When she did utilize the strategy I'm going to talk about, by the end of it, they were on the same page, and it was basically just a miscommunication. And while it seemed like sabotage, it was actually his way of trying to support. It just didn't feel like it. And what he said was, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. What I was trying to tell you was I don't care if you lose weight or not. Whether you lose weight or not, I'm still gonna love you. I'm still gonna think you're beautiful. And I was trying to show you this by saying, hey, I know you're struggling, but go ahead and have this donut because it doesn't matter to me. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just a communication breakdown, and a lot of it just does come down to lack of communication. What seemed like sabotage was actually a very nice gesture. It just was kind of going about it the wrong way, but once they had the conversation, good to go, on the same page, didn't happen anymore, and now she knows she's supported. So what was that strategy? Well, whenever you have a person who should be supporting you in your mind, but they're not, and if they keep pushing, especially coming from family members and people who are close to you, just stop them in their tracks and just say, hey, listen, like, I know you don't understand it, and I know that I can have these if I want, and I know that you're trying to show me love. However, I'm trying to accomplish something here. I have big goals, and it's really important to me, and I could really use your support with this. That's going to stop them in their tracks right there. I mean, they're going to be done. Again, this is kind of a difficult conversation to have. You have to have that open, honest communication. If you do, though, that is almost always going to stop it. Will it always 100% of the time? No, but if it doesn't, well then to me, that person's really showing how much they care. I hate to kind of say it. And then you should just move on and say, hey, like, I can only control myself. And really, at the end of the day, no matter what, you always got to remember that your goals are your responsibility and nobody else's. Not somebody else, not anything else that happens in your life. No matter what, it's your responsibility. You can't rely on other people to understand your goals and always want to be there supporting all the time. Is it helpful to have that? Is it better to have that? Is it easier to have that? Absolutely. It's a wonderful thing. And if you don't have support, maybe you get a coach like myself who can be there for you if you don't have your own support at home. But no matter what, if you want to get it done, it can be done. You just have to accept the reality, not wish things were different, and just do what you need to do for yourself. Put yourself first for once in your life and prioritize your own goals for your own happiness. Trust me, this person who's pushing the food, once that little scene is done with, whether you eat the food or not, they're not going to care either way when it's done. It's gone. They'll never think about it again. So don't let it ruin you and do what you want to do for yourself. Now, as far as another strategy, this one works well for me, and for me it works well because it's not actually a lie. You might have to lie about this, and I'm not really condoning lying to your loved ones, but for me, my body cannot handle wheat. Like, I've gone through a huge process, something called a low FODMAP diet for months, a reintroduction phase. I went through a big ordeal to basically know that I just cannot digest wheat well. If I eat wheat, it's not gonna be a pretty situation. So most of these fun foods, like cookies and cakes and cupcakes and things like that, all of these sweets, pretty highly wheat-based. So if someone's coming to push cake or cookies on me, I'll say no. And even if it's not because of my digestion, even if it's like, oh, maybe I'm in a cutting phase right now and I just, don't want to use my calories on that because I'm gonna feel more hungry. And maybe that's my real reason. But when they say, well, why you should have it, I'll make it uncomfortable. And I'll say, basically, hey, I can't digest this well. It's not gonna be a pretty situation if I have that, so I can't have it. Oh, okay, done. And they move on. So for me, that works great. And then I don't have to go through all that other stuff. Just, I have a gluten intolerance. It won't work for me. Sorry. It's just, I'd rather not be on the toilet for the rest of the day, right? So that's a strategy that could work. Maybe you have something like that you could slip in there where there's a lactose thing or whatever. That's the much easier solution, but I still feel like the supporting one is a better one, especially if it's coming from your loved ones who are trying to push. I know a lot of people's parents and grandparents and relatives, they want to see you happy. They know you like this food and they're trying to make you happy. And it may not come across that way, but they really are usually coming from a good place in their mind. They just don't quite understand, so don't get upset about it. No matter what though, remember, you can eat it. You can not eat it. The choice is yours. Both are okay. There's no right or wrong answers. You just have to be okay with the decision you make as well. This is why it's good to have a plan going in. Don't get caught up in, well, I feel like I should have it because I should be more flexible and live my life, but I also shouldn't have it because I've got goals and I want to stick to my plan. If you go in with that, no matter what you do, you'll feel like you did something wrong. You're going in with it totally open-ended. So eat the food, feel bad about it. Don't eat the food, feel bad about it. It's a lose-lose situation. Go in saying, I'm going to have this. Maybe you say, I'm going to have how much of this and just have that, be okay with it and move on. Or say, hey, I want to stay on plan today. Today is not the day. And just be okay with that too. Now, if you are someone who still really struggles with looking at food as good or bad, placing morality on food, then I want you to check out this top video next that will hopefully cover some things to help you realize you shouldn't look at them as good or bad, that there are no foods that just magically store as fat, nor other foods that make you magically burn fat. And it's just so important to have a healthy relationship with food. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in that other video.